everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video, I'm working on my own shell challenge. As you could probably tell from the get-go, there was a shell here on this lot that we're working on today. And so this is the shell for my shell challenge that I'm hosting right now. I always do shell challenges over on stream. That being said, you can obviously go ahead and participate if you want to. I will be streaming the entries over on stream as well. So if that is something you're interested in, go make sure to just come by one of my streams. We have a command there, everything is explained. I also explained everything in my Discord channel. So if you want to be part of my Discord channel, you can find everything on this current shell challenge in the announcements channel. So you can obviously go ahead and check that out if you want to. You can always just also download the shell off the gallery for fun and just play around with the shell and not submit an entry for the challenge. It is all okay. It is all for fun. But yeah, this particular shell challenge is rough. It is so difficult. And this one is actually a little bit special because my boyfriend came up with the shell. I had him build this shell for for this shell challenge that I'm currently hosting. If you wanna watch him build it, if you wanna watch it come together, I will link the link to the VOD of that specific stream in the description box down below. So I think it took him about, I don't know, maybe 20-30 minutes to come up with this, and it was actually a really fun time. So if you want to see him build it over on stream, like I said, I will link the VOD for you down below on my second channel, and yeah, you can go check that out. It was really fun, but oh my god, I hate this shell with a passion. I'm also so sorry for this video. It is a little bit all over the place, like the speed build, because I literally did not know what I was doing the entire time I was working on the shell. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to make it look interesting. Obviously, the shape of this shell, it screams like modern, contemporary, just really wacky and strange. So I kind of just took that aspect and I ran with it. The build itself is very angular. It has some small bump outs and it has some diagonal walls. Thank goodness there's no rounded walls. The chat, when my boyfriend was actually building the shell, the chat was like, you know, we do have a round walls. So if you want to play around with that. But thankfully, he did not use the round walls. He did place some diagonals. And yeah, it's really bad. It's also fun to note maybe that my boyfriend actually doesn't play The Sims on a regular basis. He has played it before. He does know the game. He isn't super familiar with it. He has obviously watched me build a gazillion, million, trillion times. So he's kind of familiar with what everything looks like and how everything kind of works. He does game himself, so I guess that helps too. But yeah, I don't know. He is not very familiar with The Sims. So yeah, he doesn't really build on a regular basis at all. So it was kind of fun for him to like play around and like watch him like do things that I wouldn't normally ever really think of. Yeah, but I haven't actually explained what I am doing for the shell challenge. So we're building on this lot in Del Sol Valley, and I decided to turn this into a very modern, somewhat exclusive gym because you might not be able to tell like when you look at the shell, but it's actually very small. It does have a basement, so it's a 3-story building, but it's actually very small. There isn't a huge amount of space, and then the fact that the shapes are so like off and weird, it doesn't help like for routing and floor plan purposes either. So it definitely feels small and cramped, but I did want to turn it into a gym because also something I also do for my shell challenges always is I will put in one required object. It's always going to be like a base game, a small object. For my previous 2 shell challenges, it's been gnomes. So there was like one specific gnome that you had to use. And then during the shell tours, it's actually kind of fun because it's sort of like a game where I have to look at look up the gnome, see if I can find it where the person put it in the build essentially. And it's always a lot of fun because some people just take that detail and like run with it, and they like make an entire like shrine for a gnome or something wacky like that. It's always really fun. So I told my boyfriend about this and I was like, so you're gonna have to pick one required object. And the thing he chose is the most random. He chose that little, that tiny little base game picture frame, like a desk, like standing picture of a sports team. You probably all know what I'm talking about. It is that like base game picture frame with a sports team in it. It's really random. I have no idea why he picked that item. I told him, I showed him some different options, you know, to kind of like have him change his mind. Nope, he wanted that picture of the sports team, and it's just the most random. But it did inspire me to turn this into a gym. And he also told us that Bobby is in the picture or something like that. It doesn't make any sense, but we were just playing around with it. And he was like, so this picture belongs to Bobby, or Bobby is in the picture, or like something like that. I don't even really remember it, but I kind of just took that aspect and I ran with it. So I turned this into essentially Bobby's memorial gym, because I was imagining that Bobby maybe is in that sports team picture. Maybe it's like a really old picture and Bobby is in the photo, and it was always Bobby's dream to at some point open up his own gym. But then for some reason, Bobby passed away, which is really, really sad. And then his friends, or maybe his teammates that are also in that picture, decided to open up a gym in Bobby's name. So this is Bobby's exclusive memoriam gym. I don't really know, but that is kind of what I took from that. And I think it turned out really fun. So this gym is in Del Sol Valley. And so I was definitely imagining this to be like a very modern, fancy, exclusive membership gym. So not a whole bunch of people come here. Definitely the people from the sports team picture, they come here, but then maybe also like the Judith Wards from this world, you know, like the famous people like to come here because it's super exclusive and it's never really too busy, and there's like personal trainers walking around that can help you out, stuff like that. So that's what I was imagining. But before I did anything else, well, I did some things on the exterior, obviously, but then the first thing I furnished was the basement, because I kind of just wanted it out of the way, because I knew otherwise I was going to forget it was there, and then that was going to be a whole thing. So I decided to do the basement first, and I actually turned this into like a dressing room, bathroom, sauna type thing. And since this gym is so small, I didn't have the space to put bathrooms anywhere else. So these are the only 2 bathrooms in this entire build, which is kind of strange, because we definitely do have some machines, and there's probably like some Sims going to be spawning here as well. Yeah, we only have 2 bathrooms, which I don't think is that big of a deal. You're just gonna have to wait your turn, and that is okay. That is that. So we have bathrooms and a sauna in the basement, which is pretty exclusive and pretty fun. But then I also did some extra work on the exterior, obviously, because I didn't do any landscaping yet. And also the window situation was really, really tough to figure out. I did skip over, or basically cut out of the footage, me playing around with the floor plan, because that was pretty much an entire stream on its own. Like that took me forever to figure that out. So I did cut that out of the video, but you'll kind of get a look and feel of what it looks like when we move on to the interior, and we'll obviously also tour the place when we're done with the speed build portion of the video, so you can get a better look at what it ended up looking like. But for the entire landscaping for this build, I decided to use tiles and concrete and like gravel and stuff all over the build, or all over the lot, to like make it blend in with the rest of the world. And I think it blends in seamlessly. I actually love this area. I never built here. I don't think I have, well, I mean, I probably have built here at some point, but I honestly don't really remember. I think I remember building like a bowling alley or something, not on this, well, maybe on this specific lot, but I'm actually not sure. It's been years, like literally, so I don't actually remember building here at all, but I really enjoyed this lot. I think it looks very pretty. The lighting was a little bit annoying, so I was building in the like nighttime mode and build mode, and that actually looks good. But yeah, for the rest, it was pretty rough with the lighting issues and stuff, but it was okay. And I really do like this area. It looks really pretty. It's very city-esque and just very LA-esque. And I feel like that totally just matched with the whole vibe of this gym that I was going for, which is very messy looking, but I really am happy with how the exterior came together. Honestly, it's weird and modern and strange, but it has some aspects that I really, really like. So by the way, if you're not familiar with shell challenges, the whole point of a shell challenge is that you can't delete or play around with the existing walls. So you have to work with the walls that are there, and that is pretty difficult when you have like a wacky shell like this one. And then also Mr. Simmary, as we call my boyfriend on the stream, he also added a little box of 2 tiles on the inside of the build. So basically like a pillar or something like that. It's really strange. It is very much in the middle of the build, so it is most definitely in the way, and it's a problem for floor planning. But I actually decided to turn it into an aquarium. I basically put an aquarium in there, and then I added a little window, which I will obviously show you later as well. That was a suggestion someone did in the chat actually, which was such a lifesaver because I wasn't sure what to do with that little square box, or rectangular box, I should say, at all. That was just a little bit of a slight issue. But I think I made it work. And then there was also a little box of 6 tiles that was not attached to the build. And Mr. Simmary actually made this rule where you can pick it up and move it around on the lot as long as it isn't attached to the building, basically like the main build. But I actually didn't touch it. I just left it where it was, and I kind of attached it to the build by using platforms for the roofing. You can see over on the left side of the build where I'm placing this this sign, and where I end up placing some bicycles as well. That little square is actually separate from the build. And I thought it'd be really cute to turn that into a boba shop. So when you're done with your workout and you want to maybe just lounge around by the pool or something like that, then you can grab yourself a boba and just hang out by the pool and maybe swim for a little bit. And then by the pool area, I also ended up placing a yoga class, which was the perfect spot for it as well. But yeah, you can see me fiddling around with the boba tea shop. So one of the rules that I usually do for my shell challenges is you can't turn any of the existing walls into spandrels or fences or half walls or what have you. They have to be and stay full walls. But for the boba tea shop, that was actually posing a little bit of a problem because that wasn't going to fit and it wasn't going to be functional. So I asked my boyfriend, I asked him what the rule was about that, because essentially it's his shell challenge that I'm hosting. So I asked him, could I turn this wall into a spandrel, or does it have to stay a wall? And he told me that it was okay to turn it into a spandrel. So that's what I did, and it saved my little boba tea shop, which I was so happy about. I still feel a little bit cheaty about it because I always say that you're not allowed to do that for shell challenges, but my boyfriend, and this is his shell challenge, told me that it was okay. So I think it's fine. I turned that one wall into a spandrel and it's really fine. Because now we have a boba tea shop, and that is just so cute. It makes the build super like complete, and it just feels kind of luxurious and kind of like, I don't know, kind of like a little bit extra, which I really like for this gym. I don't know actually when you're playing with this lot as a gym. I don't think a boba person or like boba vendor, is that what you can call it, is going to show up. I think you're going to have to do that manually. So I think you're going to have to like hire a worker or a vendor for the boba tea shop, and that is going to cost you some money, but you can obviously just cheat the money back and pretend that the vendor person was already there. I think that would be okay. But we're moving on to the actual interior, and this did not take me super long at all. It was mostly just the exterior for the build that was such a struggle for me. And once again, I'm sorry for this messy speed build because I was literally all over the place. It was really difficult to turn these streams into a video that made sense, like as a speed build, because it was literally all over the place. But for the interior, it should be all right. You can probably follow along because this wasn't super complicated. It was complicated in the sense that the shape is just very wacky and it's very small. So that was something I definitely needed to work with. That was a little bit more on the difficult side of things. But I really like how the interior ended up looking. So basically we have this main floor. I decided to steer away from like the front desk idea. I really like to go, when I like build gyms and stuff, or like community lots in general in The Sims, I like to go the realistic route and add in like a little front desk where you can either buy your tickets or show your memberships depending on what type of build it is you're doing. I really like to do that, like the front desk situation, but for this build, I really, really did not have the space for it. So I was like, you know what, it's gonna be fine. You don't need a front desk. It's useless in The Sims anyway. So it it saves some space to just not put that in. And also there was that box that was like literally there where I placed the front door. So that was most definitely in my way. It could have been fun. Like I could have turned that box into like a front desk type situation. If I turned one wall into a spandrel, something like that, I could have done that. But I decided not to. So I placed an aquarium in that little desk, and then I wrapped around the staircase to the second floor over there as well. As you can probably see, I kind of hit it with some walls and some beams, which I think was a really cool feature. Yeah, that's what I did for that little area in the middle of the build, which otherwise would have been so useful to just make that into like a workout area, like put gym equipment there. But no, Mr. Simmary had to go ahead and put a little box there. It was really quite annoying, but it's fine. I think I made it work. And the one thing with these shell challenges is that it just forces me to be creative and out of the box and like do things that I normally would never do. Because it's so restricted. And that was so fun for me to do with this one. It took me a long time, but I'm very happy with how this came together. So over here on the second floor, we have this one strange, like rounded balcony situation. At first I wanted to put a yoga class there, but it was a little bit tight, a little bit too small for that. So I decided to put some punching bags. So I put like 3 punching bags in a row, which I thought was a really cool, like neat little feature. And then we also have this closed off tiny little dresser or dressing room area attached to that balcony. So there is a little bit of an additional dressing room, but there's no bathrooms or anything up here. There's only bathrooms in the basement, like we already talked about before. So yeah, I think it all makes sense though. And then here on the second floor, like the main area of the second floor, basically, I turned into a little hangout area where you can like make some coffee, make some tea. I made a little kitchenette. I did end up placing it into this really narrow little area upstairs here. At first I wanted to make this kitchenette the main feature, but it was taking up too much space and I wasn't sure what to do with this really narrow area right here. It's only 2 tiles wide, I believe, and it's a really narrow, elongated, weird space that I didn't know what to do with otherwise. So I think that was actually the perfect spot for a little kitchenette like this, kind of like hidden away in this weird little corner, and it makes sense. It's nice. And then for the rest, like where I placed the kitchenette at first, like by the diagonal wall, I turned that into a hangout area with a couch and a couch. Oh my goodness, a couch and a coffee table. I'm sorry if my voiceover, like the speed build, is all over the place. I think I had like 4 hours of sleep last night. I don't know why, but I woke up super early, like in the middle of the night, basically, or super early in the morning, around 3, 4 a.m., I want to say, and I could not go back to sleep. All of a sudden, I was feeling like super anxious. I know this is very like uninteresting, but now that we're talking about it, I might as well mention it. I was feeling super anxious all of a sudden, and all of a sudden I found myself thinking like, what would I do if all of a sudden my apartment was on fire and I couldn't go anywhere else except for this bedroom? Like, what would I do? Where would I go? Obviously out the window, but that's an issue because that's very problematic and scary. And I don't know why I was thinking about these things at 3 a.m. in the morning. It's really strange. I was feeling really anxious about it all of a sudden. It might be because last week we had an issue in the apartment with a boiler, and essentially the entire living room and hallway and kitchen. Our apartment is really small, so it sounds more dramatic than it actually was, but it flooded. So that was an issue and I was very stressed about it. We resolved it, it's fine, but that was really scary. It was really scary. Water was coming down. It was like a shower in my house and it was really strange. And really scary as well. So I think I might have some like leftover stress or like leftover anxiety from that entire situation. And yeah, it came out to haunt me last night when I was trying to sleep, and it was really sucky. So yeah, hence this very chaotic video and voiceover and me trying to create sentences and stumbling over my words. It's fine, it happens. I hope you enjoy this video anyway. But yeah, here you can see the little living room, or like, I guess, lounge area come together. You have a little couch and a coffee table, and then also a little higher up table, if that's what you can call it, with some bar stools, so you can just sit there, sip your coffee. I was also thinking, we don't have blenders in The Sims 4, but I was also thinking that maybe you could like make a smoothie or something in the little kitchenette. Maybe they have like a blender or a smoothie maker or like a smoothie machine or something where you can just put some coins in it and like get a smoothie or something like that, or pay with your credit card. I don't know. This is probably like a very fancy high-tech type gym. So that is something that I was thinking about. Obviously we don't have those things in The Sims, so I just put a coffee maker, not even a tea maker, I don't think. No, just a coffee maker, like a fancy one that requires like a coffee bean grinder. Is that what you call it? Like one of those espresso machines? I thought that would be nice and fancy for the members of this gym. So that is what I decided to do. And then here we have a little balcony space off of the lounge area where I placed some more tables with bar stools. And then I also ended up placing 2 extra treadmills up here because really, honestly, the entire workout area isn't too spacious. I think we have an entirety of, well, with the treadmills on the balcony, we have 5 treadmills and then 3 weightlifting machines, 3 punching bags, and a yoga class over here with 6 yoga mats total. So it's not that bad. We do have definitely some stuff to do essentially. But it's not like the biggest gym with the most, like with the largest amount of equipment. But I still feel like it's nice. We do have this huge pool in the back though, so you can definitely go for a swim, like swim some laps in this pool. It's huge, it's really big. But I thought that would be perfect because this is like an LA inspired world, so it's probably gonna be very hot here for the majority of the year. If you don't have seasons, then it's gonna be sunny and warm literally all year round. But if you do have seasons, I still feel like it's gonna be hot here a lot. And then out here by the pool, I also placed some chairs with bar stools so you can sit there and enjoy your boba tea. I was thinking because the boba tea shop is right there in that little alleyway. And then for the rest, I just try to make the place look a little bit prettier without it making too cluttered because I really wanted it to feel very clean and neat and modern, so that is what I tried to do. So not that many decorations. But that is gonna be it for the speed build portion of the video, so let's jump into the game and I'll show you the build in real time. So here we have the lot in the game. I did set it to a gym lot so I could show it off, like how everything looks. And I also manually hired a vendor. So there is no vendor for the boba tea shop automatically, but you can hire one. It's only 100 simoleons, so I feel like that is not too bad. But yeah, this is the lot. This is the front area. We have a front door over here through this little alleyway. We have some fancy fountains. I parked some debug bikes here to make it look very LA-y in my opinion. Over to this side here, oh, there we have the boba tea shop vendor. That's nice. We can actually see it in action. It's all functional. Look at the person. Oh, that's nice. And then we have a yoga class. So this is also all functional. We have like a yoga teacher. We have some people coming out here to attend the yoga class. So that is really fun. Then inside here, we have the main area of the gym. People also are entering through here, it seems like, which is okay, honestly. We have some treadmills back here, and then over here, this is that aquarium that I was talking about. So that is a really cool thing to look at when you first walk through the door. I think that's really cool. Then we have some fully functional workout machines over here on this side. We have some shelves with some like protein powder and products and stuff that you can probably just buy from here as well. Then up here, we have this lounge area. I'll just have my sim come up here. We have a little area where you can just hang out and like read a magazine, drink your protein shake or smoothie or coffee or whatever. We have a little kitchenette over here where you can actually make your coffee. We have a fridge as well. Then over here we have a dressing room area. It looks a little cramped, but everything is functional and accessible. As you can see, you can use these punching bags out here as well. So that is also very cool. And then over here we have some additional treadmills as well. And then when we go down to the basement, this is where we have a sauna, as you can see, that is also fully functional. And then we have 2 bathrooms down here as well with showers and toilets. And now that we've been here for a little while in live mode, it doesn't get too overly crowded, which is nice. So I feel like the amount of workout machines that we have and the amount of bathrooms is actually perfectly fine. So that is actually nice. It's all very functional. But that is gonna do it for this build. So this Del Sol Valley gym is up on the gallery. I built it it on a 30 by 30 in the central area of Del Sol Valley. So if you want to place it in your game, then that is where it goes. But that is going to do it for today's video. So I really hope that you enjoyed this one. You can obviously go ahead and download it off the gallery. Like I just showed you, my username on the gallery is Simmary Sims. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok if you'd like. My username on there is Simmary Sims as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so. And if you want to be notified of every single time I upload a video, just click that little bell icon and you should be fine. I also live stream over on Twitch a few times a week. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and give me a follow over on twitch.tv/SimmarySims. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!